Nigeria, my country, across different parts of Nigeria, different communities are faced violence, destruction, a lot of displacement and trauma. It's not just about politics, it's not just about ethnicity, it's not about tribes, not about blaming at this time. This is about human lives, talking about young and the old, men and women caught up in violence, and this violence has lasted for too long. It's been for too long. The fact is that Nigeria has experienced repeated cycles of large-scale attacks on communities. Repeated cycles. There has to be an end to this unpleasant cycle. Villages have been burned, families separated, children displaced, frightened, kidnappings here and there. Thousands have been displaced from their homes. Sometimes you just hear stories of communities invaded, waking up to gunshots, kidnapping from their homes, churches, mosques, from markets, and people running into the bushes late in the night, early in the morning, during the day. In fact, some people have lost loved ones, and this is so saddening. Many people have had to begin again. But the question is, how long will this continue? As a medical doctor, I want to talk about some things that people are not talking about. The trauma that survivors carry for years, even after release. Interestingly, we have had recent release of some people who were abducted, some worshippers, some students. What about the trauma on these people? Children who stop talking because of the effect, negative impact of the violence that they have experienced. Mothers who have suffered depression, post-traumatic stress disorder from losing a loved one, sometimes even a spouse. Fathers living with guilt, feeling they've not done enough to protect their home. Communities are living on the edge. People are afraid, fearful, anxious, and in fact, the tension is palpable in these places, especially where these attacks have been recurrent. Men and women with untreated wounds, some with chronic medical conditions that may not be managed and may lead to complications, diabetes, from hypertension, arthritis. What about the pregnant women who no longer have access to healthcare, a safe environment? What about the orphans, those who have been displaced, who have lost parents and are now being camped in places among people that they never knew before? The fact is that when people flee from violence, they do not just flee from violence, they flee from their homes. They lose their houses, their food, schools are affected, clinics will not be able to run appropriately, medications are not available, communities are deserted, and people lose their sense of identity. So this is not just about violence, it is a public health emergency, and we must see it as such. Locally and internationally, we need to rise to do the needful. We must keep talking about it, must take action to intervene and put an end to this menace. It is no longer news that this is a complex situation that the country is in. But what are these issues? They are not hidden, they are open secrets. Talking about land pressure, issue of cattle rearing, climate change, poverty, being against education, ethno-religious tensions, the weak security systems, even infiltrated, limited justice for victims, youth unemployment. These are some of the challenges in the country. My goal is not to point fingers, but to let us see and understand why and the fact that communities are suffering. These are not just places. Talking about people, talking about human lives. So what does Nigeria need now? Nigeria and Nigerians, we need to be collective in our purpose and intention to fight this menace. We need peaceful, long-term and people-oriented decisions and actions. So we need more protection for our communities, especially the vulnerable regions. And if we do not watch, there is a tendency for things to spread, things to get worse. So we need to wake up, we need to rise as a nation, as a people. We need to signal the early warning systems. They need to be in order. Communities need to be more awake and alert. Of course, we must improve on our justice system and accountability. We must emphasize and intensify our community efforts at making peace. What about the need for mental health support? We need to create more support systems for individuals, for families, for communities who are highly impacted negatively by these experiences. There should be economic empowerment for the young people, humanitarian assistance for displaced families and communities. We all have a role: citizens, governments, non-governmental organizations, communities, nation as a whole, the international community. The fact is that Nigeria may be suffering, may be challenged at this time, may be hurting, but Nigeria is strong. People are resilient. Communities get together again and are resilient, are able to build even after experiencing loss. We need to keep talking about this. We need to speak up. We need to reveal things that need to be revealed. We need to act in ways that we need to act. Everyone, support for one another, demanding safety for all. We need to save lives. Violence anywhere in any part of the country affects all, and we shouldn't wait till it spreads to everywhere in the country before we do the needful on our part as the government and even as the international bodies. We must choose peace overall. We must protect one another. We must never stop hoping for a better, a safer, and a stronger country, Nigeria. If you find this video informative and you have your thoughts to share about Nigeria, please drop your comments in the chat and let's know your thoughts. What do you think we should be doing at this time as a nation, as individuals, as communities? What about welcoming the international community? Interestingly, they are lending their voice, ready to act to save Nigeria. How is the ongoing crisis affecting you as an individual? Are you mentally stable? Are you anxious, fearful? You need to talk to your doctor if necessary. How is this affecting your family and your community, your states? So let's use our voice to bring healing. Let's keep lending our voice to reject what we do not want. Let's create more awareness. Let's be united in purpose, in peace and prosperity. I'm Dr. Shoyemidamilare. Thank you for watching. Nigeria, my country. Nigeria, your country. Nigeria, our country. Peace.